This is JONva of Live Life, Be Happy 24/7. Another amazing week. I just want to say, I hope everybody else is having a good week. This week, for some of us, is back to school week. So as you can see, we are doing the Berkeley thing, baby. That's right. And I want to kind of thank the graduate, the 2020 graduate. Although it says 2019, that's okay. Just want to show you some love there, all right? What do you think about that, Karen?
Well, you know, the whole Berkeley thing, this is kind of how I'm feeling about it. So that's all I'm going to say in regards to Berkeley. But yes, congrats to all the graduates from all years, especially 2020, man, they had it rough. I got to literally take my hat off to them because that was a tough time.
Yes. It really was, yes.
It was. And Meg, what about you? Can you hear us, Meg?
So I'm not hat president today, so I'm kind of like Terry and I didn't get the memo. So Terry and I didn't get the memo, and so I think that y'all are trying to hold out on us. Okay. So I'm still gonna go with the pack, and yeah, Terry, I understand where we are. We got
Terry.
this.
We got this.
All right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to represent the Gators. Go Gators for Gator Nation.
That's the way we do
it. Like this?
It's a little too big if you want. I'll do a miniature version. Go Gators. There's a miniature version.
That's right. Go Gators. You know, I used to live in West Palm Beach, but I was more, you know, really was a sports school, it was a music school. But those Florida Gators, I used to always hear about them from my friends. So like I said, they can play some ball down there. Definitely. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Terry, I want to thank you for coming on here. You know, I know that you had a pretty busy schedule. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Terry. And Terry, tell us a little bit about yourself so we can all get to know the wonderful things that you do.
Well, I'm a former hotel sales manager. I spent over 20 years in the hospitality industry working for multiple hotel chains. I love hospitality. I love people. I love sales. I'm also a mother. I've got twins, a boy and a girl, and they just headed off to college. I just sent them 3 weeks ago. Super excited. They're going to be coming home this weekend for Labor Day. So glad to see them. But yeah, so in combining those two, you know, my love for people, and I also was a youth leader at my church for a long time, involved in the senior high youth group. Okay. So my passion for youth and for people has brought me to ICP-Teams.
Awesome. That's great. That's awesome, Terry. And thank you for sharing that. And, you know, you kind of mentioned some very nice, important things. One, that you're a parent. And we're going to dig a little bit about this ICP-Teams because it sounds very, very interesting. But, you know, as a parent myself, you know, I have my son who's going back to school. So like all these other parents out there, we're all concerned. So what I wanted to kind of ask you is, tell us about your experience and, you know, what you're going through right now. So everybody else can kind of hear about it and kind of get an overview of how you're taking this whole thing with COVID-19.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go. My kids were seniors, so they were the ones that were, you know, affected at the end of the school year, and that was tough. I'm not going to lie, that was easy. That wasn't easy, but we made it through that. And then we had all of the decisions surrounding you know, should we go away to school? Should we stay home? You know, the colleges gave the option to stay home and go virtual or to go to school. So we went through that whole decision-making process, and in the end, made the decision that they would actually go away to school. And so that's how we kind of navigated through all that. Okay,
so as you're kind of navigating through the process, are you in direct contact with the school? Are they giving you like an update, like of a daily update or weekly update? Because a lot of folks want to know how this all works.
Yeah, so the decision-making process was tough, and the schools really came up with wonderful plans. Each school came up with a different plan, and I felt comfortable with the plans that they each came up with. My daughter's going to a large school, and they had mandatory testing. They had mandatory quarantine until you got your test results. They're adamant about the masks. So I feel like the schools are doing everything that they can do. My son is going to a smaller school. They had optional testing, kind of on the honor system, but they are adamant about the masks as well. And so two different ways of doing it, but both schools I felt handled it beautifully, and I felt comfortable with it.
Okay, all right, and thank you for sharing that. And I know Megan, Karen, you probably went to like bigger schools than me. What's your thought on what Terry said?
Well, you've got to consider each school has they have the ability to make rules. They could say this is mandatory, that is mandatory. But when you go to a school of 20,000 students, it's very hard to make sure that all that is in line with what your expectations are. So when you mentioned honor system, I thought that was a great phrase to use, because I can't imagine any student wants to get sick. So they really need to understand the importance of why you have to wear a mask. I know now, as soon as I leave the house, it's like, you gotta have your wallet, gotta have your keys, and it's like one more thing. Oh yeah, a mask. So if everybody wears the mask and the schools really communicate with the parents, I think the semester is going to go well. And I'm very hopeful for all families that they don't have that extra burden of worry, because I know having kids in school, especially as freshmen, that's stressful enough, so you don't need anything else. But I know the schools are working hard. So
they are, and they've done a great job of communicating with the parents as well, and they are really on top of it. I'm impressed with both schools.
Okay.
Great.
Now, Meg, we didn't hear from you. What's your thought on what's Terry saying?
So I of course, we've been working with a lot of the students transitioning into college. Some have chose to stay home, do virtual for right now. A lot have chosen to go into their first year, go into college. So I'm kind of on the fence, both ways. I think that definitely being on campus is beneficial to the students. It's beneficial. A lot was taken away from them, graduation, so there was a lot taken away. So I think being able for them to transition their freshman year of college, I think was a blessing in itself, because so much was already removed. And then, some are still doing virtual. They still have, some are underlying medical conditions. So there's so many other factors in place too. But I do know, in working with all the colleges that we have, that they've all been amazing at taking the precautions and, making sure that the students are taking the precautions and things like that as well. So we're just going to have to kind of see where it goes and how, and with colleges that have success in it with the transition, follow protocols and kind of learn. I think this is going to be a learning, for all of us. So,
and you just made a point, protocols, because I think if we all do our part, parents, teachers, students, everybody, I think we'll be fine, and we just need to kind of collectively come together and do our part. With that said, and Terry, you mentioned ICP-Teams, and I'm a little interested about that. So tell us about, what is it that you do at ICP-Teams?
Well, I'm a regional director here at ICP-Teams. So my team and I, we contact schools, we contact individuals. We try to get the word out to everyone what a great service ICP-Teams provides for our families. So it's really kind of like having your own mentor to mentor you through the process of preparing for school. It's helpful to schools because sometimes their guidance counselors and their administration, they're just stretched so thin. They can't provide the individual, focus that that ICP-Teams could provide. And those guidance counselors, I couldn't have made it through everything that we did without them. They were so amazing, so helpful. But when it came right down to doing the work, it was the kids and I. And it would have been helpful to have a little bit more mentorship, a little bit more one-on-one guidance. We made it, but I feel like ICP-Teams would provide that extra layer of guidance that would really take a lot of stress off of parents. So having just come through all of that stressful situation,
Right.
I look back and I feel like ICP-Teams would have been wonderful had I found it a year ago. And so now that I found it, I just can't stop talking about it because it's just such a little gem you want to just share with everyone. So I became a regional and just trying to get the word out to schools and families. What a great opportunity this is.
It is, and thank you for sharing that. And I'm gonna have to tell everybody a little secret. I'm using ICP-Teams as well with my son, so they are amazing. So again, anybody who's watching this YouTube interview, definitely reach out to ICP-Teams because they are the solution, and the solution for now, and also the solution for the future. And Karen and Meg, I'd like to tell us a little bit about ICP-Teams as well.
So for me, my experience has been amazing. Terry said something that really resonated with me. When you've got the guidance counselors at the school working so hard, it's not a one-on-one experience. It's the whole school or all the ninth graders with one person. So ICP-Teams does provide amazing services that, like she said, I wish that I had as a school principal as a resource, or even as a student as a resource. I too am a regional director, and what we do is we lead a team and we try to just get the word out, make sure as many people know about us as possible, because it is incumbent upon us to get the resources out there. So when teachers get together, they share resources. We are ICP-Teams, we're sharing resources. So whether you're looking for essay writing or scholarship help, tutoring, there's a lot of stuff out there that we can definitely help with, and it does take a lot of burden off the school counselors, off the parents, and it's something you can really feel good about. So I'm just very, very committed to it and very excited.
That's very good. And Meg, I'd like to hear about you, a little bit from you about ICP-Teams as well.
All right. So, well, I am actually founder of ICP-Teams, and of course, I absolutely love it. I love working with the families. I love working with all of our team. Our team is absolutely amazing. We wouldn't be where we are without them. So I give all of the props really to the team itself. Like all of you, all of them are absolutely amazing. We do take a lot of the burdens and stress off of the families and the students, and it took us a couple years to actually put the program and everything in place. So what we've done is try to create something. You on the call here are you know me, and so I'm very much student driven for their education, and so we just really took the time to piece together a program and to make it a complete puzzle so that students had the guidance, parent had the guidance, and we can make sure that it's affordable for every single family. So actually, I'm going to share this because this is something that kind of caught me, and it's kind of like education is so important, right? And I think that every student deserves a solid education if that's what they want. Like if they have worked hard in high school and they are doing their part, no, I don't think they should be buried down in student loans and starting their life with $100,000 in debt already. So somebody asked, like, so your services, your program is absolutely amazing, and we price all of these other programs, and yours seems to have like so much more in depth and so much more involvement. And I was like, yes. And they're like, so it brings the factor of like, golly, is this too good to be true, right?
Yes.
And so they gave me the analogy is like, you know what, if I were to have two BMWs and there was a $40,000 BMW and a $3,000 BMW, which BMW am I going to buy? Because am I going to think that the $3,000 BMW is not, is something's wrong with it? Because that's like not, and I was like, you know, I said, in our world today, I guess that happens, right?
Sure.
Like that happens. I said, but in my world and in the students' world and in this educational industry, that's not what we're about. Like, why buy a BMW? Like, I mean, we have our Mercedes suite, BMW suite, tells us like suite of services, but because we have that, does that mean that we have to market our price up
Sure.
so that only people who can afford BMWs can have it? Like, absolutely not. Like, that's not what we're in business for. We're in business to serve and to help and to give these students everything that they need at a price that is affordable. We don't want just students that can pay $10,000. Like, we want the families and the students that can have the services and be a part of a team like we have, no matter what their circumstances are. So I that is stuck in my head. It's been in my head. It's kind of like, gosh, you know, it's really sad and sorry that people have that mentality, if that makes any sense at all. Like,
Well, it does.
you know, education is a $1 billion industry, but you know what? It shouldn't be. Like,
Right.
it really should not be. So to say that it's a $1 billion industry, why? Like, that's my question, is why? Because these students need that. And I know that, yes, I've seen other programs that cost 3, 4, 5 times as much as our program costs. But you know what? We're not going to be in the magazine of $1 billion company. Like, that's not where we're in service for. So I don't know. I've still been on that tangent because it really, I was like, you know what? That's the wrong way to look at it. Like, that's completely the wrong way to look at it.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
thank you
that's
for
where
that.
I'm at with that.
You know, and I think, you know, our viewers really needed to hear that, because, you know, hearing it from maybe a third source may not resonate the correct message. And I'm glad you had that opportunity to share that, because, you know, ICP-Teams is a wonderful organization, really here to help the students. So again, for all of our viewers out there you're watching this video, take a moment and take that time to kind of reach out and learn what ICP-Teams is about. You know, I'm always like, you got to go to the source. Come to the source, you know?
That's absolutely. And the beautiful testimonials and parents and students that have been involved. And so, but I wasn't really offended. It just caught me off guard that they suggested raising our prices a crazy amount. So, and then I'm like, no, I'm sorry, that's not what we're in the service for. This is a service like that's, so yeah.
Exactly.
I definitely
Well,
hope
thank you.
that that's not the mentality people have. Yeah.
Definitely more like a service for all, not a service for a small few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's very attractive. You know, there's a huge group of people out there that want their kids to go to school. Many of them might even be first time, you know, college, you know, the child might be the first one going to school, and you really want to foster that and encourage that, you know, and I think for them, you know, this is a huge piece of their child's success. So you want to make sure that it's something that's affordable to everyone who wants that opportunity.
Absolutely, Terry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, we are in a period now in history where it is a quandary, and there's a lot of uncertainties and all types of different playbooks. But to have an organization like ICP-Teams here, ready and available to help every child. That's something that you don't come across, and that makes ICP-Teams very unique. So again, for the viewers out there, just give it a chance, reach out. We will give you a website that you can go to, or maybe we can also have you reach out to Terry as well, and we can start from there. But, amazing company. Terry, I'm going to go back to you. Can you please kind of share how folks can get a hold of you?
They can email me at Terry, that's TERRI.Carmody, CARMODY, at ICP-Teams.org. And I did want to point out one more thing, that, everyone kind of is dealing with that cloud of uncertainty that you mentioned, but this too shall pass. And if you've got a 7th, 8th, 9th grader who is considering a career that requires college, by the time they're ready, we're going to be long past this, and it might be something to consider at this stage in the game, just getting started. It sounds early, but that's my mentors got me started when the kids were in 7th grade. And boy, was that a fantastic move that I made. Had it not been for my mentors, I never would have known that you do really need to start right around 7th grade. So this too shall pass, everyone, and you want to be prepared when it does.
Yes,
definitely.
Okay.
Well, in the 7th grade thing, just with 7th grade, real quick, what you need to do is look at what your high school schedule is going to be, which is why we start in 7th grade. So just like you said, it's super important to catch that early on, because you want to have the right track in high school so that you can do what you want in college.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Meg, is there anything that you would like to add? Because this is really a really good conversation that we're having here.
Oh, I know. I know you get stuck with us ladies sometimes, but yeah, we go and we get on we just kind of don't have a filter sometimes. So yes, I agree completely with Terry. I completely agree with Karen, and you as well. Think that definitely being prepared early is crucial. And I joke when I say this, but it's actually true. I always say I love taking like 7th and 8th graders, because they have no idea to be scared. Like they're not scared of anything at that age, So it's like it's like molding the clay, and so you're molding them and you're teaching them like different ethics for school and to be successful and accountability, and you're teaching so much at an early age. So by the time they're transitioning into high school, their mind and they are already focused. So right now they may need the tutoring, but they have the tutoring, they have the guidance, they have us talking about colleges, they have us talking about careers. So that's already in their ear. And then by the time they're in 8th and 9th grade, like they're ready for that transition. And by the time they're going into their senior year, they either a lot of times already have enough credits to have an associate's degree. B, they have the credits that will transfer into the colleges that they want to attend. So they know those things ahead of time. So I do really think that early preparation is important. And if you have students 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, you definitely want us to go ahead, contact Terry for a free evaluation, Karen, any of you for a free eval, and let's do an overview of where you are, where you need to be, and where you want to be, and just reach out to us and let's talk.
Okay. Well, thank you. So we're almost to the end, because again, my assistant's letting me know time is up. But I'll each have us say a little something in closing. And again, Terry, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your experience as a parent, and also as a wonderful representative of ICP-Teams. Folks, I definitely want to reach out to Terry. She's a great source of information. And again, for students out there, I really want you guys to be safe. Please follow the protocols. I'm going to follow the protocols. We follow the protocols, and we care about your safety and all that. So if you didn't hear it, yes, we care about you, love you. So be safe out there. Karen?
Be safe.
All right. So, guys,
Terry, pat on the back for being a college mom.
Thank
all
you.
right.